So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. Mein Name ist Christopher und ich freue mich sehr, Sie hier zu haben. My name is Christopher, and I'm delighted that you are here to engage this grid with me. I am having a Fiero Martini Spritz because it's just so good, right? I mean, just fabulous. It's up there with my little pantheon. You know, I've got like this little 3-member pantheon when it comes to my favorite spritzers. And top of my list has got to be the Select Cocktail and then Campari. But yeah, I'll take the Fiero Martini Spritz just any day of the week as well. But it is day 20 of the Gregorian calendar. I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button for me. I would just be so incredibly pleased about that. And the subscribe button too, if you have not. It would just be great to, I don't know, put a ring on it, so to speak. So today in history, happy birthday time, right? 1920, Federico Fellini came into this world, and he came into Rimini, Italy. This is the Italian director who's well known for La Dolce Vita. He also did 8½, too. What I find remarkable is that Buzz Aldrin is celebrating his 96th birthday today. He was born in 1930 in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Talk about just an American hero. I mean, he was a Korean War fighter pilot. And he was an astronaut in both the Gemini and the Apollo programs. And the fact that he's celebrating his 96th birthday is just nothing shy of absolutely awesome to me. So, wow, happy birthday, Colonel Aldrin. I guess I don't know what your rank would have been. Maybe they promoted you to maybe brigadier or something. If not a 4-star, why not? So, and in 1956. Bill Maher was born in New York City. He's really well known. He started his career out on Politically Incorrect, and then now he's got the Real Time with Bill Maher, which is an HBO show as well. I always try to stay away from anybody political. Try to always celebrate, people who maybe, fought for civil rights, or, comedians, actors. People like that. Try to stay away from the political lanes, but Bill Maher's had a very interesting career. He's not a politician, but he's known for, I think, the ideology of equal abuse for all. I think he is a self-aware, self-possessed liberal, but he doesn't care what is, he doesn't care what party someone belongs to. As a comedian, he'll let you have it in either party. And I always find him interesting to watch, So, nevertheless, let's hop into our grid and see what we got going on for our Tuesday here. So, it looks like a Jonathan Raksin, and it says in the wordplay column that it's visibly disdainful, a debut by Jonathan Raksin. Sounds great. And so I guess we'll hop on into that. Of course, edited by Will Shorts. Let's see what we got for our Tuesday here. I don't know about you, but Tuesday feels like a really bad Monday. You had the 3-day weekend, and you get back to work, and you got 753 million emails to get through, and it feels like it's already a long week, even though it's a short week. Tomorrow's hump day, right? So who knows? I can't keep up with any of that stuff. But small bouquets. We've been getting these in a lot, so I'm going to always just pose these to start with and get my mouse out of the way so we can see what we're doing. Tour Overseer for short could be the PGA. One of a record 30 plus for Beyonce. I guess we're talking about Grammys. And the S of, I guess, the automatic braking system. I remember when that was a new thing, But the very first Jaguar I bought, I got a new one in 2017. It was the F-Type, and it had the all-wheel drive in it. And I've had 4-wheel drive in the past, and I've had front and rear wheel, but this is the first time I had a car that was made for specifically ice and snow, And my gosh, you know, and I'm from Texas where they don't salt the roads. They just put sand on it, which is just kind of dumb. Doesn't even melt the sand. I don't know what the whole purpose of it is, right? You know, but like that car was just fantastic, you know, kind of like the Beamer that I'm driving now. But yeah, I remember when ABS was a thing back in the early 90s, something like that. It kind of came out. Maybe it was in the late 80s. I don't remember, but yeah, I don't know. So to set sail could be to embark. I do miss that Jag. I mean, that was one of those cars that was just an amazing car. It was a race car. But yeah, I got rear-ended in it. And the guy just drove right up and smashed right into the back of me. You know, you're looking in your rearview mirror and you see that it's just like middle of the night and you're stuck in traffic in Dallas and you look up to the rearview mirror and you see this vehicle coming and the only thing you see from the inside is this glow from someone's smartphone on their face. Next thing you know, smashed right into the car. No bueno. Man, I love that car. Follower of T. So maybe we got an X here, a T-Rex, and, you know, short arms, bad attitude. Prefix for element number 8, and I'm assuming we're going with the oxo, I don't know. It begins with alpha and ends with Zulu. The NATO alphabet. I had to learn that when I joined the Army. We went through that all through officer candidate school. I had to spell everything out. Had to use my push to talk button. Like you weren't allowed to talk unless you were saluting the officer that you were talking to. And it was awful. Poker declaration could be, I'm in. So it was like literally you had to have this sir sandwich on top of it. Like literally, if you were the person that I needed to talk to, say you were some lieutenant, captain, major, colonel that was wearing a black hat and was just being mean to me for 97 days, then you were one of my TAC officers, so teach, assess, counsel officers, right? You know, they were like our drill sergeants would have been in basic training. And, you know, sir, candidate Combest, request permission to speak, sir, kind of a thing, right? You know, I mean, it was just like that all the time, you know. Yeah, gosh. And he said, spell it all out in the NATO alphabet, candidate. Sir, candidate Combest, yes, sir. I mean, it was ridiculous. Improvises, could be ad-libs. Salmonella. And we have a Sam Onella also on YouTube. Let's see, airport, Chicago airport code, yeah, word, and good. So I think we're okay so far. Mallorca, por ejemplo, maybe Isla? Maybe. In that case, if so, one pitied by Mr. T in a catchphrase, and I pity the fool. He did pity the fool. He made that quite clear in every episode of the A-Team. Very clear on that. Short piano piece. Okay, scissor cut could be a snap. I'm trying to remember. I mean, it's like a sonatita, or I mean, it's something that I don't ever use. Okay, words with one's right hand raised could be an oath. I'd take one of those when I graduated officer candidate school. Second Lieutenant Christopher.combest. Yes, I would say lieutenant in the American Army, but you know, I spent a lot of time in England. I always liked it there. Lieutenant Combest. One who's hanging around could be a loiterer. A loiterer. All right, I don't know there. I love you in Spanish. Te amo. Te amo. Figure depicted in Michelangelo's Pieta, and that would be Mary. Cleopatra's killer could be an asp. I get the hiccups so often at this time of day. Have my entire life. It's just strange. Novel feature of the 1974 Olds Tornado. This is an airbag? Oh my gosh, if this is an airbag, I have got to look that up. I'm sorry. I mean, that's... Now we're embarking on good, dumb knowledge, right? You know, 74 Olds Tornado. All right. Captured. I'm going to be looking that thing up. I wonder if it would have been effective, you know? All right, so Sonatina, I don't remember. Shindig could be a party. Looks that way, doesn't it? Visibly disdainful. Sneery? I don't know if I trust that. Hellenistic storytelling. Hellenistic storytelling. Okay. Yeah, this could be Greek mythology. Yeah. Mythology. Okay, I think I got all that in there this time. Indian tourist city could be Agra. That's absolutely one of the coolest places in the world. I can't wait to go one day. The Falcons on scoreboards be Atlanta. Star Wars princess could be Leia. I don't know why I always have a hard time remembering how to spell her name. Parade spoiler could be Rain. Split blank new wave band whose name sounds like a hair problem, and I think that's Split Ends. Transport between terminals could be a tram. So modern pickup spot for delivery drivers could be an Amazon warehouse. Yeah, warum nicht? American author whose lifespan closely coincided with Halley's Comet visits, and that would be Mark Twain, or Samuel Clemens as he was born. Sarcastic laugh syllable. Har. An East Coast convenience store chain with a reduplicative name. I have no idea, but if it's reduplicative, I'm assuming it's Wawa. La-di-da. And be behind, absolutely. To O. I-O. So off to work I go. Flatbread from India could be roti. C47 down. Oh, we'll get to that. Negative logic gate that works similarly to and. How about nor? Nor. Sports group for Coco Golf. Oh. Okay. This is a WTA. Let's see. Pueblo pilgrimages. Historic destination for Pueblo pilgrimages. I think that's the Grand Canyon. URL ending for Wikipedia. Okay. .org. Yeah, the Grand Canyon. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Not lease, maybe. Own. You know what? I've owned a lot of homes. Shotzi and I have owned a lot of homes. And I don't ever want to own a home again. I don't know what that's all about. It's, I got to own a home. As soon as you do, guess what? And, brand new air conditioner needs to be put in. New roof after that hailstorm. No. I'd rather just pay rent. Lawn needs mowed. There's somebody to do it. Fight night souvenir, perhaps. 180s could be Uis. Really not supposed to spell that out. So that could be a welt. Etna. And unappetizing food would be a slop. And then we got a spa here to find a Brazilian. All right. Video game creature often depicted with green skin. I think we're looking for an orc. I always think of Tolkien when I think of orcs, but they've got other places in the world. Squirrel's horde could be acorns, or as you say down in deep East Texas, acorns. Any poster on Yelp essentially would be a critic. Of course. Is there any other way? Skills shared by bats and dolphins, or when read as two words, what 19, 26, 34, and 44 across each is. Okay. One famously preparing for a flood could have been Noah. D flat equivalent, C sharp. Pennzoil competitor, going with STP. Stuck could be in a rut. Brita competitor could be pure. Groups of scouts could be troops. All right, so, you know, this is a very light and breezy grid today. I think there was a little bit more challenging stuff. We've got a little bit more to go here, but so far we had more challenge in yesterday's Monday. Blank Holmes, a Netflix character based on Millie Bobby Brown, and that would be Enola Holmes. Drum kit components descended from sock cymbals, and these would be hi-hats. Computer whiz, I don't know, maybe a techie. Let's just try it out. Dusseldorf, denial would be 9. 9. Or nay. Very common here in Germany just to say nay, if you want to say no. Just now. Okay. Skill shared by bats and dolphins, or when read as 2 words. So this would be echo location. And group of orcas could be a whale pod. And get the D in there. Port of Yemen could be Aden. Romeo or Juliet, notably. I'm assuming we're going for teens here. We'll try it. Macintosh or Macintosh component. And I do believe we're talking about a core. That's good techie humor there. We've already got a techie in here. Now we've got techie humor. And that's gotta make Silent Evie put a little smile on his face, though, right? Because, you know, it's what he does. He's a cybersecurity guy. Mayberry Boy of 1960s TV would be Opie Taylor. West Side, the left. And that's clever, too. I like it. Suddenly motivated with under, maybe lit a fire. And amen. Yes. And just now, newly. So, I don't know. How did we do, Bob? Yeah. I think we did okay. Well, I'm just trying to get this squared back away because I always screw it up when I touch it at the end. All right. Sorry about that. Just trying to make it work. Okay, so there's a lot to actually parse through here. Skills shared by bats and dolphins when it's 2 words. So echo location. So in the NATO alphabet, it's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, right? In Greek mythology, there is the goddess Echo. And of course, I mean, I guess we could assume Amazon warehouse, somebody might have ordered Alexa. And of course, the Grand Canyon, used to visit there yearly. When I was a child, I spent every summer in Parker, Arizona, and my grandmother was constantly making my grandfather, my Oma, was making my Opa burn up the roads between Parker, Arizona. We lived in a house right on the Colorado River. We could see California like 200 yards away. And we had to go to Disneyland 3 or 4 times in a summer. Grand Canyon, once or twice in a summer, right? You know, like that's what we had to do. But spent almost every weekend we weren't doing stuff like that up in Lake Havasu because I was enamored with the London Bridge. I don't even know why a 5 to 10-year-old would be enamored. 11, I think, is the last time I went out there. They moved to Texas after that. But I absolutely love Arizona. And I could definitely live there again. So, again, a very interesting grid today. It had a nice little theme to it. I mean, that was great. Nothing in here that was sonatina. That was the one challenging part of this thing, right? You know, otherwise this was a beautiful Tuesday. Jonathan Raksin, what a gorgeous job of getting in and getting a grid published. Beautifully done. This is just magnificent. So, we'll bring down our Benny or Dad do, and we'll call it good for the day. So it was interesting. you know, the morning, there was sun coming out, peeking out, you know, as I was settling into the office. And I get there really early. It's usually very dark, you know, but then when I got there early and I had to go run a couple of errands there, you know, for the office for myself and pick up water, get some. Had to go over to the warehouse to get some paper and some other things for some training materials. Very interesting process, though. The sun kind of poked up, and I sat and stared at it for about 5 seconds, you know, when it was about, you know, just yay high over the horizon, you know, to get my vitamin D and all of my atoms and tell my body that it's sunrise, and so, you know, be prepared to be tired 12 hours from now, kind of a thing. But it just dawned on me that it was this beautiful day. There was no wind here whatsoever, and even though it was 7 degrees below zero, it felt nice outside in the sun. And we really can use the sun as much as possible. We were always told to get out of the sun, but now they're telling us to get into the sun. It's very interesting to me. And I do like that more than not. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure. Until we see you tomorrow for the Hump Day grid and maybe the beginning of the challenging grids for the week. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Que tengas un lindo día. Masalamati. Annyeonghaseyo. Henlapkai and Kemcho. Be well out there, and we will see you on tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves. Cheers.